Hello everyone, I think we're live and welcome back to 16x Engineer YouTube channel. I've been away for a few months, but hello everyone, today we're live. Today is gonna be a very exciting live stream, I think, because we're gonna be talking about Ralph Wiggum. I don't know how to pronounce it, but let's call it Ralph. The Ralph method for doing AI coding. So yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this because I think this is gonna be likely the biggest breakthrough in the past few months. I think the first breakthrough is obviously GitHub Copilot, then we had ChatGPT, then we had Cursor, Claude Code, and now I think the Ralph is the next breakthrough. So I'm really excited to talk about this today. Let's just wait for a while for more people to join, and then we can get started. I've prepared some plan on what we are gonna accomplish today. So I'm gonna talk about this channel, obviously, do some intro, and then I'm gonna talk about my current Claude Code setup, which I invented a few months ago. I think it's still the best way to do AI coding, in my opinion. It outperforms every other method I've seen on the internet until the Ralph loop came out, obviously. So I'm really excited to try this out and integrate it into my current workflow. I think it would work really well. These two, they have very good synergy with each other, which I'll explain later why. I'll talk about what is the Ralph loop, and I've actually done some research, and there are a lot of implementations on the internet. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot more, I think. But the problem with all of them is that they have some problems, right? They have some shortcomings, or they didn't implement it correctly. So I'm gonna talk about those, and then obviously we're gonna try to implement our own Ralph loop, because there's no official implementation per se. You're supposed to do this yourself right now. So I'm gonna do it myself, and I'm gonna be building a new project with it and to test it out. So I'm gonna talk about it later, and I'm also gonna talk about how we can apply the Ralph loop to other agents, right? Not only coding agents, but I think this concept is generally applicable to any kind of agent that you want to be long running, and you have a verifiable reward as the exit condition. So I'm going to talk about that. Okay, so let's get started. Gonna do some introduction to what I'm doing here. So this is my 16x engineer channel. I talk about AI coding stuff and models, how they work. So this is what this channel is about, and I plan to do more live streams. So if you're interested in AI models, AI coding, how they work, please do subscribe. And Claude Code, yes, Claude Code has been my main driver since beginning of 2025. It has been a year. So I'm gonna talk about my current Claude Code setup, which I think is still one of the best ways to use Claude Code. So this is also to provide some context on how I'm gonna do the integration later with the Ralph loop. So my current Claude Code workflow involves two important files, two important components, I would say. One is the roadmap and one is the tasks. So this is my old blog post telling exactly how I set it up, but I'm gonna actually show you a current project that I'm working on to give you a more better understanding of how it works. So basically you have a roadmap file which gives a very high level overview of the current project and the development workflow. So the development workflow is the key to the roadmap. Basically it tells the agent how to create a task plan as a roadmap, as a task MD file, and then how to do the implementation, how to do the testing, and then finally how to update the roadmap. So basically this is the development workflow that the agent is supposed to follow. And then for each task, we're actually gonna create a separate task plan for each one of them. So you can see here I have these old tasks that are summarized in one sentence. These are the old tasks. I'm gonna scroll through all of them. So these are all the tasks that have been done. And then when you reach the later stage, I try to include more details, the more recent task. So for example, this one is draft generation integration. So I can actually go to this file and then see exactly what the agent has done. So basically what happens is the agent will write the plan, execute it, and then document what has been done in this plan. So you can see here I have 100 plus plan files inside my repo and more coming. So this is how I manage the agent context window. Basically, in order to avoid the context bloat, what you want to do is instead of including all the PRDs and all the tasks and all the plans into the context, what you can do is basically load the roadmap file into the context. You can see here, I have the roadmap file loaded into the context, which is 7.6K tokens. So this is so that the agent understands generally what this project is about, what are the recent tasks, and what's the next step. Basically, the agent reads all of this description, and then it understands, oh, the latest task is 113. I should probably refer to this task plan. If it doesn't exist, I will create a plan. If it exists, I will execute it. So this is how my current workflow works. I think it works really well. You can see here, as a living proof, I have completed 100 plus tasks. Each one of these is not very trivial. It can take a few hours for a human in just like a few months, 1 month. So this workflow works extremely well. If you want to check it out, you can check out this link. But that's not what we're here to do today, right? So today we're going to talk about Ralph. So let me go back to my plan. I'm gonna explain to people who still don't know what Ralph loop is, because I think this is the biggest breakthrough since Claude Code. And it's funny that this was actually posted in July by Geoffrey Hanley, but it only got popular recently. So the basic idea is really simple. So it's just a while loop. So while true, you prompt the agent, you dump the entire prompt to the agent, and the agent is supposed to read it and understand what's the next step, and then if it's not done yet, it will continue doing, and if it's already done, then it will exit. So that's the core concept. But it's very, very simple to understand, but it's really tricky to set up because you need to have verifiable rewards for when the task is actually done. If you don't specify it well, the agent can exit early or it cannot exit, and then you need to manage your context really well. That means that for this while loop to work, the agent has to get a fresh context every time the loop take turns, right? So in the first loop, the agent has a fresh context. In the second loop, the agent also has fresh context. So in this way, you can maximize the effectiveness of agents. I've seen a lot of implementations online that are completely wrong. They didn't do this. It doesn't make sense at all. It's just slop. So yeah, that's the high level concept. So you specify a prompt. with the task breakdown, and then ask the agent to do it in loops, right? So I think I'm gonna actually use one of the best explanation I've seen online to describe it more clearly. So I think this person, Ryan Carson from AMP, has done a very good job at explaining what it is. So basically you have this loop file, which is nothing interesting, and then you have the prompt file, which describes the workflow, and then we have the progress file to track the current progress. So this is persisted across the sessions as a way for the agent to learn. And then you have the PRD file, which is the task breakdown. So this person is actually using a JSON file for PRD, but actually you don't need to use a JSON file. I think it's more like structured and for agent to follow, but I don't think it's necessary to use a JSON file. So I checked with this person, and he agrees. So we don't need to use the JSON file. I think the MD file would already work. So that's gonna be one deviation that I'm gonna be doing differently. The task list will be in a markdown file, right? So it will be very similar to what I'm doing here. You can see here all my task lists are in markdown, but instead of having completely separate markdown files, I think what's gonna happen is that the PRD is gonna be more like a roadmap kind of thing. So you have this kind of PRD that are more high level, and then the agent is gonna still create a plan and then execute the plan. So I think it will, I don't know what the exact structure would look like, but it will very likely be very similar to what I'm doing here, except for it's running a loop, right? So basically you have the high level PRD here with the tasks, and then for each task you create the individual task plan for the agent to execute, and all of this is happening in a while loop. Yeah, so that's the basic idea, and also of course you have to give it a escape hash, which is the maximum iterations or the completion criteria, which is actually there is a very good completion criteria that I saw from somewhere. Let's see, I think it was tweeted by this guy, so I'm gonna find it in my liked posts. It was somewhere here. I think it's tweeted by this guy. Try to find it. I couldn't find it anymore. I think that guy is from Anthropic, so I'm gonna try to search for it here. Yeah, this guy. So I'm not sure it's a guy or lady, but he has posted a very good exit condition on how to exit the Ralph loop. So you want this to be as structured as possible, as detailed as possible, so that the agent knows, you know, what's the exit condition. So basically the agent is supposed to check whether it has fulfilled all the criteria, like all the comments have been addressed, all the changes have been pushed, blah blah blah, and after all of this is done, it will be able to do a completion promise. So this is like a very long completion promise. I think there are other versions of it that are much shorter. So you can see here in the official Claude Code plugin, it's just a promise complete, right? So this is a very short promise, so the agent can like somehow hallucinate and just output this and exit. You don't want this, so the way to enforce it is to make the completion promise very long and explicit, so that, you know, if the agent feels that it didn't do this exactly, and then it's like less likely to exit. Yeah, so that's the basic idea. It's a lot of components, but on high level, it's basically a while loop. Yeah. So I will go through what I think are the key components of the Ralph loop, so that we get a better understanding of what exactly we need to implement, right? So obviously we need a while loop. We need the agent, which I'm gonna use Claude Code, obviously. And then we need the exit condition. So this is gonna be the promise that the agent needs to output in order to exit the loop, right? And then we need to have the PRD with tasks. So this is gonna be the agent's goal. And then I'm gonna look at my tweet earlier, because I noticed that there are a lot of problems with the current implementations. So I'm gonna look at my tweet here. Yes, you need the file system based progress tracking. So this is really important. Progress tracking across sessions. So this is gonna allow the agent to learn, right? So basically, like, oh, which are the tasks that have been done, which are the tasks are not done yet, which are the mistakes I made, which are the good practices I learned. So all of this, the agent can track in the file system across sessions. And then obviously you need to ask it to implement step by step, and then you need a loop, outer loop, right? So I think these are less important. So these are, I would say, the key components so far I can think of for the Ralph loop. But I'm also gonna add my own interpretation and my own flavor to it. So I'm gonna call it my own flavor. I think what will really help the Ralph loop is to have a plan mode, right? Plan and execute. I think this is currently missing in most of the implementations. So if you go back to my own workflow that I'm using, so you can see here, for every task, I will create a plan, which is not started. I'll ask the agent to create a plan, and then I'll spin up another agent to execute the plan, right? So basically, what I do is you have a fresh agent, zero context, that's the planning, and then produce the plan, task plan, right? And then you have another fresh agent with zero context. It's gonna read the task plan and then execute it. So in this way, you get two fresh agents, each with fresh context to do a separate task. In this way, you can ensure that like both planning and execute are getting fresh context, and the agent is the most effective. So I think I'm gonna adopt this particular strategy for my own Ralph loop, because it has proven to work really well and it's a well-documented strategy. But somehow people are missing this part for the Ralph loop. So I'm gonna add this. Hopefully it's not gonna be very difficult. So that's basically what is Ralph loop and my own flavor and my own addition to it. And I'm gonna explain why you shouldn't use the existing implementations on GitHub, right? So there are a lot of Ralph implementations online, like a lot of them, but most of them are really bad. You shouldn't use them. I'll give you some examples, right? So this is one popular one with 400 stars. Immediately, one very obvious red flag is that it requires the Claude SDK and the API key, which doesn't make any sense at all. because it's supposed to work with your Claude Code command line tool, which uses your cloud subscription, right? So this does not make any sense. And then you have the task description template prompt, which is really weird because it's like on a task level, right? So if you want the agent to just complete a task, you don't really need the Ralph loop at all, right? So what you can do is just simply create a plan and then ask the agent to do it, right? The agent already runs in the loop. The agent is the loop itself. So if you just wanted to complete a task, you wouldn't need the Ralph loop at all, right? This doesn't make any sense. The only reason why you want the Ralph loop is because you're working on something that is bigger than task, that you need multiple loops of agents, and then agents running their own loops to complete. So it has to be a project, or like at least a sub part of project. It cannot be a task. So this already does not make any sense at all. So I'm gonna stop talking about this guy's implementation. It looks like it's complete vibe coded. And then we have the Cloud Entropic official plugin. This one has one huge problem because it does not run separate instances of the Claude Code. It runs one instance of Claude Code, and the agent is going to run out of context if the task is too long, and it's going to do automatic context compaction and everything, and it's not going to be very effective, right? So you don't want to reuse the same context window for each loop. You want to start a new one and then pass the context around with this progress level progress tracking of file system to pass the context instead of using the context window, because that's very inefficient. So this is wrong. There's another one here. Let me see what's the problem with this one. This one is just generally a bit weird. Like it's trying to import requirements, and then it's trying to do some like requirements, but this only one requirement. Yeah, it just doesn't explain to you like how to set it up or what's the purpose of each file. And I think there are some examples here, but they don't actually make too much sense. Oh, it's actually empty. Okay. Yeah. So, you can see here there's a prompt. Okay, it does say one task per loop. At least that's okay. Yeah. So I think this one is like okay. Not like terribly wrong. I can't remember what was the problem with this one that I saw earlier. Yeah. Okay, that this one is also kind of weird because fixed filling test is not a very complex task, right? You don't need to run a Ralph loop on a task. The Ralph loop is designed to build software, right? Projects, entire products, not designed to like run for a single task. So these are operating on the wrong level of abstraction. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So basically, if you want to take a look at the open source implementations, you should check whether they fulfill these key components. Oh, obviously, I forgot to say here you need an outer loop. Yeah, outer loop, outer while loop of agents, right? So cannot be one instance, right? Yeah, so it has to be an outer while loop of agents. Cannot be the one agent. Okay, so that's the problems with the current implementation. Next, I'm gonna describe what I'm gonna try to build with the Ralph loop today. So today I'm gonna try to build a new tool, a complete project that does one specific thing, which is to create tweets that will do well on X, right? So as you know, like getting viral tweets on X is kind of hard, but like a lot of people do automation around it. I think there are some tricks you can do to create prompts that create tweets that are gonna do well, right? Obviously, I'm not very good at this, but I think some people are doing it, and I'm gonna try to create a tool that does this automatically, right? And so the idea is to find popular tweets, and then also fetch your own tweets. And then what the tool is gonna do is gonna analyze the popular tweets by feeding it to the model, obviously, and then draft tweets based on the popular tweets, and then adapt it into the style of the user's tweet, right? Basically mimic how you would write, but then also maybe change the tone or style so that they are more like popular tweets. So yeah, that's the general idea of it. So basically try to write tweets that look like you wrote it, but more adapted to a virality. Something like that. I don't have a very clear idea on what it does, but I have a general understanding of what I want to do. So the draft will be created with multiple models. I think these two models, the Claude 4.5, Claude Opus 4.5 and Gemini 2.5 Pro are the best models for writing. So I'm gonna use them. And I also want to have a review feature. The model will also review the drafts, right, and pick the best draft. So that's what I want to do. So as you can see, it's not a very big project, but it's also not trivial, right? So this is gonna take like I think 10 to 20 tasks to complete, and it's like I think it's a very good test of Ralph loop whether it works. So I'm gonna implement the Ralph loop inside this project that I already initialized. So I have the idea file, I have the ignore file, and I'm gonna bootstrap the Ralph loop in this project, and then run it, right, until completion. So let's do that. I'm gonna make my own implementation of the Ralph loop. So I'm thinking of how to do this, right? Whether I want to use Claude Code to build it or build it myself. So I'm still not sure. Let's just do it step by step. So I'm gonna probably start with the prompt, because the prompt is actually the most important part of the loop, right? So let's take a look at what the popular choice is. So I'm gonna take this and then place it here. Let's see. So your task is, this is the roadmap, blah blah blah. Read, check your current bunch, pick the highest story with past false, then implement the story, update with learning. Okay. You see there's already a duplicate and ambiguity here, right? So it says update agents.md with learning, and then also append learning to progress. So this is kind of weird, right? Okay, so I'm gonna make some changes to how this works. So I want the PRD to be a markdown file, so I'm gonna change this, and also gonna change the PRD to probably roadmap. Actually, I'll stick with PRD just for consistency's sake. So I'm gonna use the PRD.md And then progress.text doesn't really make sense. Why not MD, right? So let's change all of this to MD. Checking our current branch, we don't need this. Pick the highest priority task, story that is still not done, right? Not completed. Okay, implement that one story, run type check and tests. Update agent, I don't think we need this. Commit ID title. Okay, this is fine. Update PRD to indicate it's completed, right? So append learning to progress. Okay, I think this is fine. Date, story ID, what is implement, this is fine. Reusable pattern, this is fine. Migration, we don't need this. Stop condition, otherwise end normally. Okay, I think this is a good starting point of a prompt to use, right? I'm sure there will be improvements, but let's do this. And I'm gonna create a progress.md file. Leave it empty first so that it can read. Okay, so this guy put everything inside script /Ralph/prd, but we don't need this, so we can just remove this. Okay, so this is done. Gonna add the thing like this. Okay, so this looks good. So now we have the prompt. We can work on the prd.md. Okay, so I'm actually gonna ask Claude Code to do this. I'm gonna write a prompt here, right? I'm gonna write a prd prompt. So write a prd for idea.md. Based on reference refer to I think I'm gonna ask it to refer to my current roadmap as a reference on how to write it. I'm gonna copy this path to as an example on how to write prd/roadmap. Add prd.md root project root called prd.md based on reference. Okay, refer to this as an example on how to write prd roadmap. Okay, I think this is good enough. Break it down into smaller tasks. Think about how to implement it step by step. Okay, I think this is, I don't want to spend too much time on this prompt because I just need to execute this and then refine it. So I'm gonna directly copy this into here. I think this should work. Let's see. Yeah, we're probably gonna need to spend some time refining this PRD because it's not gonna be perfect in the first run. Obviously, the more detailed you write your PRD, the better outcome it will be. So we want to remove ambiguity from PRDs and add clear like tests and criteria for completion. So let's see what it come up with. Now let me check if I'm missing something here. Small stories, yes. Feedback loop, yes. Exit criteria. Learning compound, okay. Agent update, yes. Okay, let's see what the Claude Code give us, right? Okay, it's already done. Let's see. Drafting command line tool for Xfilter to create task performer. Xdraft helps user to create high performing blah blah blah. Okay. Or value proposition. Okay. Analyze popular tweet, generate drafts. Use LM as evaluator. Maintain user authentic voice. Okay. Development workflow. I think this is still fine. I'm not sure. See, this is a problem with Ralph, right? So I already have a development workflow, but I think I have to change it for the Ralph loop to work. So this is basically development workflow for each task, right? It's not the whole development workflow. So I think I shouldn't call this development workflow because the prompt is gonna give it the task, right? Oops. Yeah, implement that one story. So I'm gonna first rename all the story to task so that it's more consistent. Implement that one task. So I think I'm gonna do a branch condition here, right? Let's say, okay, so maybe let's keep it simple and don't introduce the plan mode first. I think maybe introduce the plan mode will add a branch condition here to either write a plan or implement the plan. I think that might cause some problems. So let's go with the simpler concept that it will just implement it instead of writing a plan as a task file first, right? That I'm gonna try to deviate from my current workflow because I think this workflow might need more thoughts on how to adapt this into the Ralph loop. So let's get the simple Ralph loop working, and then we can probably think about how to integrate the plan and execute mode in the next stream. I think let's be less ambitious. So we're gonna keep like this, and then the PRD will remove this. So basically we're moving the development workflow from the PRD roadmap to the prompt. Okay. Let's see. Foundation, bootstrap, blah blah blah. Okay, configuration API key. We don't need the API key config. Data storage, schema. Okay, this is completely wrong, but I'm gonna fix it later. Auto manual import, user storage. Okay, so it's focusing a lot on things that is not needed. So let's try to fix this. I'm gonna be using whisper flow here because it's gonna be quite long. Let's skip the API key config because it's already configured with the .env.local. Don't read it, just assume it's already there. Just use .env to load it. For the tweet collection, let's just create 2 folders. One for the popular tweet and one for the user tweet, and assume that the user will place the tweets there, so we don't have to manage it with any store or database. They will be just markdown files. And then for the draft implementation, okay, cool. I think that's okay. Draft review system. Criteria, okay. Evaluator. Also, let's keep it simple. Let's consider phase 3 as the final phase and put the draft review system into future roadmap that we don't have to do yet. So put phase 4 and phase 5 into future enhancements. Okay, I think let's cut down the scope so that we can hopefully get something working within 1 or 2 hours. Okay, I should also put the reference for the SDKs into the reference folder so you can reference. So I'm gonna put the Gemini. Actually, I didn't have them here, so maybe I don't need them. Maybe I don't need the docs for Gemini and Claude Code. They just already, the agent already knows what to do, so probably don't need them. So let's see. Phase 1 for that setup, tweet, retweet, graph generation, the function, graph generation, setup, integration from template, graph generation. Okay. I think I want to set this up myself, the data, so that the agent can like directly use them to test or verify things are working. So this is like a fixture kind of thing. So I'm actually gonna set this up myself so that the agent can run autonomously, right? So let's try to find some popular tweets and my own tweets. See. Which are the popular ones? This one looks pretty popular. This one looks popular. This one. Okay. So I'm gonna copy a bunch of tweets that are pretty popular. So this is one from Cursor, and this one is on Claude Code. This one is on DeepSeek. I'm just populating a bunch of test data for the agent to be able to test and run without human intervention, right? So these are some popular tweets, and I'm gonna also add my own tweets which didn't perform really well. So I'm gonna probably pick this one and pick this one, this one. These are not performing very well, as you can see. Probably need to close this. My computer is lagging. Okay, so this one is on Hacker News. And let's find another one. This is EPM limit. And this is Claude. Okay, so I've set up the tweets. Let's ask the agent to update the plan. I've set up the folders already, so let's remove that step and just assume they are already there. Okay, so project bootstrap, graph generation, data markdown format, my computer is like lagging like crazy. I'm not sure what's the cost. Probably need to close this tab window. FFmpeg, okay, sure. Okay, let's see. So now we have 5 tasks that should allow us to test if this method works, right? So I'm really excited about this. I think what's missing here is the verification step and the how to verify the work, right? So let's do that. Let's try to look for some reference. Let's see, is there a prd.json sample? Yes. Acceptance criteria priority. Okay, acceptance criteria and tests. Okay. I know what to do already. So for each task, specify the acceptance criteria and tests that need to be passed to consider that step done. Oh, we are only at 47k tokens. That's crazy. We've done so much work with this PRD. Okay, so now we're adding the acceptance criteria. Okay, this is nice. Acceptance criteria. Generate with Claude. Okay. Gemini integration. Gemini with Gemini. From template. Acceptance criteria. Draft generation CLI tests. Okay. Okay, I think this is actually pretty good. I mean, on first glance. So this will be acceptance criteria and tests. Okay, so now we have the PRD. We have the prompt. We just need a. Let's see. Does it make sense to pick the highest? Pick the next task. The next task. Okay. Read PRD, read progress. Pen learning. So obviously I want to modify the promise as well to make it more explicit. All tasks tested and pass acceptance criteria. Completed. Okay, so I think this is a good promise. So this kind of nudge the agent to not exit until it's done. So now we have the prompt, the progress, the PRD. Now what we need is the shell script to run this, right? So let's do the ralph.sh. Okay, let's see what should the ralph.sh be look like. Max iteration, script directory, PRD file. Okay, I'm just gonna copy this and then make some modifications here. I'm just gonna ask the Claude Code to change this. Commit first and then check what's the changes. Fix the folder names, all markdown files, files like PRD and progress are at root. No need to do branch stuff. Everything is on main. Okay, I think this should be enough. I'm not sure why you need the branch because that's a bit weird. Maybe this guy is running in parallel, that's why he needs branch. But for my case, I don't think I want to do it in parallel, so let's see. Max iteration, script directory, bash source, okay. PRD file. That's wrong, right? Okay, actually this is correct. Progress file started. Okay, cool. Max iteration output m dangerously allowed. I think this should be CC. CC is like this. check for completion signal, so we'll use this completion signal instead. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Codify. Okay, technically this should work. I need to change the permission, obviously. Okay. Let's do a final review. Oh, prd.json. That's wrong. So the PR should be prd.md. prd.md. It's completed. Oh, actually, okay. So we need to make one more change here. We need to add a kind of checker to indicate if it's completed, because in this guy's setup, all the PRDs are in JSON, so there's a specific field to indicate if it's passed. But for our case, I think we need a checkbox. For each task, give it a checkbox to indicate whether it's completed or not started or in progress. Actually, shouldn't be a checkbox, should be a status. Oh, it shouldn't do this. Remove the table and add the status directly to the heading of each task. Actually, I don't want the table. Table is too distracting and duplicate the information. I want to remove it. Not started. Okay. Not started. Okay, I think that's good. Move the backlog stuff to a separate file. I think it's better to remove this from the agent context so that it doesn't need to worry about all this. I'm a little bit afraid that it's gonna cause distraction. I'm just gonna move all the backlog stuff to another file. Okay, I think this is okay. The key types are okay. Okay, so now the PRD have status. Let's check this, right? So that are this. I think, what is it called? Not started, right? Status as indicate the task status as completed. Okay. I think this should be fine. Yeah. Let's just run it, right? Who knows what will happen? Because the Claude Code is gonna give us flickering in cursor, so I'm actually gonna run it in a terminal, right? So let's do ralph.sh. What's the command again? I kind of forgot. Max iterations, right? Okay. Let's do, how many tasks are there? 5 tasks, right? So let's do 6 iterations. I honestly don't know what's gonna happen. Wait, it doesn't pipe the progress to send the output? It does T the standard error. Oh, it doesn't T the... Wait, oh, it piped already to standard error, so it should actually give us the output. Why is it empty? Why is it empty? Oh, I should use -p. Right? I should use -p, not this one. Let's stop it. I think it's already working, but it's somehow not piping the output, which is weird. So Claude Code docs. I need to figure out how to run the Claude Code with pipe with -p. I think it's -p. Or is it just not possible to see the output? Holy shit, this guy's thing is very complex. Where is the reference? CLI mode, yeah? Let me think. If it piped the output to standard error, why didn't it show up? Screen response without interactive mode. Let's do this. I think this is the correct way to run it. Okay, yeah, I think this is the right way to run it. It looks like we can't actually get the agent streaming output. That's a little bit weird. I think there should be a way, but it's not obvious. Like, obviously we can trace the agent logs and render them. So I've actually done this before. So if we actually go to a folder called so we actually have the agent output, agent logs here. So I've done this before. So basically what you can do is you hook into the agent and then just log the tool calls and responses yourself, right? So you can do this to get your own logs and then stream them. So that's something we probably want to do soon, because not having the visibility of what the agent is doing is kind of weird, but I guess that's just how it works, right? So I can see it's already created tsconfig package.json pre-tiered ESLint. Okay, interesting. So we should see this keep changing. That's quite interesting to observe. So we can see the git status here, and it's running, and we should be able to see our cloud usage going up. Interesting. Current session. Okay, let's just watch this and the terminal, because there's nothing else to do, right? Like, it's just running. Okay, maybe we can also watch this. How do I watch this together with the... Okay, so let's do like this. Do like this. We want this, we want cursor. And then we want the command line. Okay, I've become similar to other people who are just doing this stuff right now. So let's just watch how it goes. Oh, it made a commit. Interesting. So the first task is done. I have no idea whether it's actually done or not, but okay, so it made a change. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I guess, you know, like now is the time to, like, technically if you already set this up, now you can go watch a movie, go to gym, or go cook, or go like sleep. It's just gonna run, right? Like, holy cow. Like, oh wait, oh, it does give you the output. So for each task it will give you the final output. Okay, that's nice, right? At least we know, like, for each task there's a final kind of summary kind of thing. That's very nice. Let's look at our cloud usage. Oh, by the way, I'm on the pro plan, right? So this should be the highest plan. I'm sorry, max plan. I'm on the max plan. So 5x max, $100 plan. Okay, so it's already added the Anthropic AI SDK. Very nice. So, you know, in my old workflow, I would have to create a task for 002 and then ask the agent to implement 002, create a task for 003, ask the agent to implement 003. But all of this is gone, right? Now it's just running in the loop. I cannot tell you how strange this feels to me after using Claude Code for like almost a year, and now I can do this. Like, it's writing tests with y-test. Good choice, good choice. At least it's not using jest. I wonder how it knows to use y-test instead of jest. That's a very good choice. Okay, I guess now that it's running, we can talk about how to apply this to other agents. So obviously, any agents that you can define as a kind of step-by-step workflow, and then you have multiple tasks like similar to coding, you can apply this. So I'm thinking of any kind of writing, video creation, like what I'm doing. So I'm working on a video creation agent. I think it would work very well with the Ralph loop as well. We think of another agent or use case, like monitoring, I think. So you continuously monitor for like outage or like news and then act on it. Obviously a loop would work. Yeah, there's like, I think other use cases outside coding. Okay, seems to be working. Yeah, I think it's already onto the iteration tree, so I think it's suffice to say that this does work. So it is created a bunch of files and configs and tests. One thing that the model likes to do is to skip the test if there's no API key, right? I don't really like this, but this is something that the model likes to do, yeah. Oh, let's also check the maybe progress. You can see the progress here. Code-based patterns, interesting. Learnings, right, works out of the box, interesting. It's not Android SDK. Learnings, return error strings, allow caller to catch, test conditionally skip. Okay, very, very nice. I can see the future. I can see the future right now. Oh, this is gonna cost so much. Changes, like I'm only at 15% for the session. Like it's only used like 4%. It's very efficient because it resets the context window after each loop. So happy that this works. Okay, I can't really open another browser, so I'm just gonna leave it like this and use my phone to check some stuff, and then let it just run. Let me check Twitter, maybe someone messaged me. Yeah, so this is like the ultimate asynchronous coding, right? So you can do whatever you want now, like, and just like check progress here. See, the progress is just keep coming. Oh my god. As long as the agent doesn't do reward hacking, I think it's fine. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna open source this repo on GitHub, so you guys can check it out. In fact, I'm gonna do it right now. So this is called Xdraft. I'm gonna go to GitHub. Okay. Okay, public, sure. Okay, so now this is open source. If you want, you can, take this and use it as a reference to make your own Ralph loop, right? So yeah, you can take this. Let me put it in the chat. Okay, let me check if I have anything that shouldn't be here. I think the env file is not here, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Ralph loop 4 out of 6. I haven't seen it fail a particular iteration yet, because these are actually quite standard, right? So it shouldn't actually fail. Okay, so task 4 is also completed. Did it actually run tests? I'm not sure, right? I think I may be under specifying the test a little bit. Oh, it didn't reach the CLI part yet, so so it didn't actually run a test yet, I think. Not sure what's happening. So I guess even if the test fail, we can still kind of, fix the test after all this, right? So it still kind of saves a lot of time. Like you can run this while you're sleeping, and then you wake up and just fix the test, I guess, if you under specify the test. I think it's really tricky to get the models to actually test the code, right? So that's something that the model can struggle a bit. I'm gonna do here like future plan, right? So how do we ensure no reward hacking actually test stuff? So I found out that Claude Code likes to skip testing a lot, especially like actually running commands. So how do we ensure that it's gonna be important? And yeah, I think that's it. We're at iteration 4. Wait, how come iteration 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay, but 4 is already completed. Why do we not have the 4 output here? Interesting. Is it stuck? Maybe it's stuck. We already got this, so according to the prompt, it should already be done. Check. Oh, feature 5 already. Oh wait, it's skipping it. Oh no, the agent is trying to do two tasks at the same time. Oh, I see. In iteration 4, it's already trying to do task 5. Oh, okay. Okay, that's interesting. So we have to avoid this behavior as well, right? Otherwise, it will defeat the purpose of the loop. Yeah, it's doing the feature 5 in the 4th loop instead of the 5th loop. Very interesting. It doesn't seem to consume a lot of tokens, contrary to what people are saying, right? It's like, you know, we started with 11% and now we're at 19%. It barely use like 10%. So it doesn't actually consume that much token. I haven't run into any Claude Code plan limit yet. Okay, so complete all the tasks. Interesting. Okay, so it says that it completed all the tasks. Let's try out. Okay, how do we run this? Cloud. Oh, okay, it works apparently. Look at these tweets. Claude is the best coding agent right now, and it's not even close. Fight me. Just watch my Claude agent. 20 minutes. Refactory. Then apologize on. Huh? Is this like supposed to be a joke? Error no text context in response. Is Cloud completely broken? My agents are failing and all authority fail like a crazy. You see, it works, right? It actually created some very good tweets. I think Gemini is having some problems. Cloud just mass reported all wrapper projects. Meanwhile, my Cloud Code is stuck because Gemini hit the rate limit. Cloud is genuinely good, but the limit is killing my workflow. Okay, apparently it works. That took us like 1 hour and 30 minutes. I think the actual building part is really quick. Probably spend like less than 30 minutes setting it up, and then another 10 to 20 minutes running it. So yeah, this worked out really well. I think definitely everything works. I have no clue how it works, but it works, right? You can see it clearly worked. So this is the repo that is open source, so everyone can go and check it out. Yeah, I think that's honestly everything I wanted to do for this stream. The conclusion is that this Ralph loop works. It's very easy to set up. Just need to follow a few very intuitive components here I've listed here. So just make sure you have all these key components, and you can refer to the sample I have. I'll put it in the description, and you should be good to go, right? Try out and let me know how it goes for you, and I'll probably do more streams on this. I'm not sure if it's fun to watch, but it's really fun to build like this. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll catch you in the next stream.